award-winning podcast show with your host, Shemaiah on the Beat, aka SOTB. Here, we talk to entrepreneurs, music artists, and public figures to help you develop a mindset for success. And now, your host, SOTB.
Hey y'all, this is Keep Grinding, the podcast. Man, this thing is on fire. I remember when we first started about almost less than 2 months ago, we were just kind of like doing once a week. Now it's going crazy. We're doing at least 3 or 4 shows a week. So shout out to everybody who is listening to this podcast and sharing your family and friends, because this is the one for the entrepreneurs out there who's on the grind and anyone who has a side hustle, because there's nothing wrong working 9 to 5. But this is all about grinding every day. It's all about you getting your mind right and taking that action. So, man, today we have an awesome show. We're talking to Miss Davi Schmidt, and man, it's Davi, D-A-V-I, because I almost said it wrong. when I was like seeing the email, I said, "Oh shoot, I'm so glad she sent the pronunciation." But I want to say, just welcome to your show. How you doing today?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me. I'm excited to be on this.
Awesome, man. So you're into music, obviously, and that's awesome. But before we get into those details, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, so I grew up in a pretty small town in California called Princeton. It's like 300 people. Oh, wow. So I grew up there, and music was never really, I didn't come from a musical family. It was never really something that was even on my radar, quite honestly. Mm-hmm. So I did the whole go to college and get a job and go through the steps of a career kind of, and I'm still doing that. I do marketing for a tech company. But about 3 years ago, I moved to Portland, Oregon, and one thing led to the next, and I met somebody that wanted to put a band together, and he thought I sounded decent, and so I put my first band together with him, Davey and the Fuzz. It was started out as a 4-piece, and then we added in a sax player, and we did shows around Portland for probably 3 years. We took a hiatus in there, looking for bass players for a while. We had one quit, and then I started, it was kind of funny. I had this guy that showed up to one of my gigs, and he came up to me afterwards and asked if I sang jazz. And I didn't really. I was like, no, I don't, I know some jazz. I love Nina Simone, but I'm not like a standards aficionado or anything. He's like, there's these jam sessions. You should come out to a jam session, and I think you like it. And I'm like, okay. So I go to the jam session. I didn't really plan on singing. I was just going to kind of hang out. And then he's like, no, you got to sing something. And I'm like, okay. He's like, sing Fever, because that was the only song that I really knew. And I was like, to me, that seems like the cheesiest jazz song to sing, right? But it was the only one that I really knew well enough to sing. So I go up there to sing it, and it was funny because the bass player was like, okay, so what cadence do you want? And I was like, I don't know, the regular one, whatever, He was like, okay, well, fine. And he was like, what? And I was like, oh shit. Like, I realized that with my first band, like, I didn't do any of that stuff. Like, they just kind of put it together for me. And I was like, I don't know what key. So he just picked a key, and it definitely wasn't the key I normally sing it in. But it was a learning experience. And so I started doing that almost a year ago in January. I started really going out to jam sessions and sitting in with people and meeting a bunch of musicians. And it's kind of just blossomed from there into this whole, it's pretty much a second job at this point.
Oh, I know exactly how that feels. But as far as like you discovering this opportunity, I mean, what was going through your mind when it was actually a legit opportunity? Like, were you like, I know you were excited, but what was going through your mind? What were the next steps for you to actually start making all this cool stuff happen?
Yeah. I didn't even know I could sing, really. My family didn't know I could sing. Like, when me and the guitarist I met 3 years ago sat down, he kind of did a lot of, he was like a rock guy, right? So he listened to the Grateful Dead and stuff like that. And I listened to a lot of Motown growing up. So us finding a common ground was a whole thing in itself. And we finally found some songs that we both knew. And I remember I just did like a voice memo of like, one of the first songs, just him and I did together before we brought in the rest of the band. And I sent it to my mom, and I didn't really give her any context. And she was like, "Oh, that sounds great. Who's that?" And I was like, "That's me." She was like, "What?"
Wow.
We didn't know you could sing. I know, her and my dad both, "That's not you." I was like, "It is." So I think like for the first, at least with the first band, like every show we did, when we first were together, we didn't do a lot of shows, but every show we did, it was like, people were like, you're really good. Like, I can't believe you haven't been doing this before, and then the more shows I did, the more, people that I met that weren't my friends and family that were like, "Oh, you're great." Cause friends and family like have to say that. So the more like people that just ended up at my shows on accident and were like, "You're really good," or "We like your voice," like it started to become okay. So it's not, it's a favorable voice. It's not one that's just my friends and family like, and it just kind of started to catch on. And I started to meet a bunch of people in Portland, and they were inviting me to come out and sit in with their bands. And, so, I still am in a little bit of disbelief that this is like, that I'm getting a lot of the opportunities that I'm getting, because it's just so new for me. But, yeah, it's crazy. And I love it. I love it so much. And I think that's part of it, is that I have such a passion for it. It comes out in the music a lot. And I think that, the people that come to my shows can relate to that, and they can see it. And so that makes a big difference.
Man, that's one heck of a story, man. You just accidentally discovered singing, but you didn't really. This backtrack. You probably did like singing, right? Before you discovered that you actually could. Like, didn't you find yourself like really into, certain styles of music where you kind of just had a passion for it, you just never pursued it? Like, would that be fair to say?
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, I never sang like
public,
like in front of anybody. Yeah,
you
like
sung in the shower and in the car on the way to work.
Yeah, professional shower singer. Yeah, no. So I definitely have I definitely have my styles of music that I've always liked, and certain people that I've always liked, and that started to come out more when I started developing my voice, I would say. I mean, even when I listen back to what I sounded like when I first started with Davy and the Fuzz to what I sound like now, I'm like, holy shit, like 3 years made such a difference. And just, you know what I mean? Like learning what your voice can do and how to work with it. It really is like anything else, like a muscle, right? Like exercising it and figuring out where you can push it. And I mean, my range is so much more than it was when I started. I mean, we had modified most of the keys in my first set list lower so that I could sing it. And now I'm singing almost every song in its original key. Like we're doing some Aretha Franklin stuff, and it's just, so the range is crazy. And I even look back on some of the old ones and I'm like, Mom, I can't believe y'all let me sing like that. She was like, well, we thought you were good, but you're so much better now.
That's funny.
Yeah. I mean, and I was very shy. Like the first three songs or the first 3 gigs we did, I wouldn't even talk on the mic. Like I made my guitarist do it because I was just so nervous. And if you saw one of my shows now, you would be like, that's crazy, because I'm, a front woman in all of my bands, and gotten much better at the stage presence thing. But yeah, the first 3 gigs, I wouldn't MC at all. I was like, no, you got to do it. I can't do it. I can't talk to him. I can't look at him.
I don't believe that one bit.
Right?
It's funny. It's funny you say that, because I used to be shy too. And look at me, I have a podcast show.
Right? That is funny.
It's very humorous. Like, the things you're scared of doing is like the things you're best at doing, Yeah. And it's interesting because it's not always like people who have that situation. It's not always because of the fact that they are doubting themselves, more so than the fact that they're just doubting their ability to be successful. You see what I'm saying? Like, I kind of double talk on that, but I'm going to clean that up with Mr. Clean, because what I'm trying to say is I feel like people don't really doubt their dreams. They just doubt that they're the ones that can make it happen. You see what I'm saying? Like, you can sing deep down, but maybe once upon a time ago, you just felt like maybe this is not my lifestyle. Maybe I'm just supposed to listen to music and sing when I'm on my way to work, and then honk my horn, people cut me off in traffic.
What did that do?
Start spitting some bars and start rapping, right? But like, what was it? Because you say you were in Motown. So what was some of the Motown songs that really spoke to you, that just lit you up like fire?
Yeah. Well, Etta James is my favorite singer. So anything by her. And honestly, the Motown stuff really started with my mom. I mean, when it was like whenever she would cook or we would cook together, like I'd throw on 60s Motown, and it was all just like feel good music, you know, like Ain't No Mountain High Enough. Like everybody in my family knew it. We'd all sing it. And it was like kind of nostalgic for me, right? Like as far as liking it. And then when I really started singing, I started watching the live videos of all these people, right? And that's kind of how I became a better performer too, is I really studied the live versions of my favorite singers, which are like, you know, Etta James, Sugar Pie DeSanto, Aretha Franklin, Mavis Staples. The way they sing their songs live is just incredible, and how they work the crowd and things like that. And I mean, they did that back in the day. And so when I got into the live versions of all this Motown stuff, it was a show, you know, it wasn't just you're up there singing a song. It was so much more than that. And so that's actually what really helped me be a better live performer, for sure.
You know, it was funny. I'm not really changing the subject because it has everything to do with you. But every time I get female singers on the show, I can listen to them talk and I can shut up for the rest of the show. I have like the greatest voice, like for voiceover work.
Well, thank you.
Seriously.
If you need any voiceover work, let me know.
I'm dead serious. Like, you sound like you should be doing like some like animated movies or something. Like,
hey, maybe someday. I'm not discounting anything anymore.
I'm sorry, I kind of went off topic. Well, it wasn't really off topic. It had everything to do with your voice. But back to business. When you are doing your band and all that stuff, what has been some of the challenges? Because I know you kind of touched on the fact that you had opposite flavors and you were able to work that out. But what were some of the challenges, like, you know, booking shows and studio time and, you know, stuff like that? What were some of the challenges that came your way?
Yeah. Well, booking shows sucks. That's my least favorite part of everything, is doing the booking. Yeah. It's just a lot of admin and back and forth, and the bigger the band, the harder it is to get everybody's schedules together. With my bigger band, Davy and the Fuzz, it was difficult because there was 5 of us, right? And most of them had families, and, you know, it was just a pain in the ass to do the booking. But with the trio, it's not bad. I've got a couple of residencies, so those just kind of are what they are, which is nice. And they happen every month or every other month, and I don't need to worry about that now. So that's kind of the way to do it. Now I know that, right? But and I've also gotten to the point where I know a lot of the owners of these clubs that are, you know, the booking agents and stuff like that. So it makes it easier when I want to do something else there. But it was, you know, getting started was awful because it was just like a cold call. And on top of that, I mean, I didn't have a budget, right? So I was paying for whatever out of pocket. So we didn't have studio time or anything like that. I never went into the studio with them or anything. It was like cell phone videos, right, of people that were at my gigs that were singing in the background and trying to, you know, like, so anytime I had to lead somebody to a video, it was hard for them to actually get a quality video. But yeah, so the booking's not fun, but it's part of the deal. I guess another piece of it is just the band dynamics. Like, you know, I actually just watched the Netflix documentary on the Foo Fighters. I don't know if you've heard of it. It's called Back and Forth, I think. And it's really good because it basically just talks about band dynamics and how hard it is to get any number of people to agree on things and to work together and to be together. You know, it's just, it gets hard, and it's like this person's mad at this person about that. And I was the band leader, so it was kind of had to do a lot of let me sit down with you and figure out what you're, you know, what we need to do with you. Let's sit down. So that part's not fun. And, you know, but it is, it's like it's like being in a relationship with, 5 people
Wow.
and trying to make it work,
That's
so
a challenge.
that's always a challenge. Yeah. Yeah.
That's funny, man. You could be a comedian too, man. You got a lot of talent. Because I
don't know about
I couldn't help but think, like, you know how, like, I don't know if it's just guys, but it's like we get like furniture or something that requires like instructions, and you're like, really? I don't need instructions. Like, I just want the final product. Like, why can't we just have? And it's funny because that's a metaphor that I think we all kind of do when we have an exciting dream or goal in life. Like, I want to be a basketball player, but you found out you had to dribble with both hands.
Yeah.
It's like, wait, I got to shoot a leg with my left hand. This ain't going to happen, man. But yeah, all jokes aside, when you like started seeing results come, was it something that just you expected more, or was it something that just kind of like happened naturally on its own? Like, how were you reacting to the accomplishments that you're making? Because, all right, number one, in your bio, you had like famous photographers and stuff do photo shoots with you, and you work with big people in the industry. So it's not like you're on GarageBand. Like, you graduated from there,
I don't know about that. I still use GarageBand, so.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not.
No,
like,
I know.
It's not like you're just kind of recording your vocals on the MacBook Pro built-in laptop on the webcam and calling it a song. Like, you're doing big things, Like, anytime you actually are in the studio or somewhere where it actually costs money, that's when you know you're taking your thing serious. It's not just a hobby now.
Right. Yeah, I met this guy back in February, and he's actually my producer. I've been working with him since February of last year, and he's been like amazing. So it started out as just oh yeah, I sing, I do, we kind of just started talking back and forth about, just people I like, and he was interested in what I was doing. And then he started putting together these things that he calls like building blocks. And they'd be basically, things that he wanted me to do that he felt like would help my voice or help my production skills. And, so far I've done 6 of them. I've got 3 left, but every time I finished one of those building blocks or whatever you want to call it, I feel like I had these musical breakthroughs where I was like, oh shit, I can do this. Or, oh shit, I, can put together a gig in another state completely from scratch, and go out there and sing, and I can really make this happen, So he has made a lot happen for me as far as that goes. And he has a lot of, just people that he knows that he's been able to connect me with, and the photographers, and they were all a connection of his. And then, the studio was actually a connection of his as well. And it was kind of funny how that came about, because the first time I met him, he sparked interest because I told him one of my favorite singers was Sugar Pie DeSanto, and he didn't know who he might have heard of her, but didn't really know who she was. And so I sent him some live videos of her, and he ended up knowing the person that produced Sugar Pie's last album, and his name's Bill Jolly. And so he set me up with Bill, and Bill is the one that did my demo. And so I flew out to Philly and got to record with Bill. And that to me was just like, and on top of that, Bill talked to Sugar Pie's manager, and Sugar Pie sent me some of her earrings and like a little note. And so it was just like crazy, 6 degrees of separation, right? Like, this woman, I found her like 3 years ago when I first started. My first drummer in Davy and the Fuzz was like, hey, Davy, you need to check this chick out. I think you'd like her a lot. She didn't make it, super, super big, but she was a huge blues singer. She's actually Etta James's cousin.
What?
Yeah. And so I look her up, and like her live video, man, you got to check her out. I'm going to have to send you some of her live videos too, because she is just so much fun to watch. And I like immediately fell in love with her. I was like, this chick is like, and she's one of the ones that really helped me with like the live how to perform on stage, like how to get the crowd going. And she's still performing. Like, I don't even know how old she is now, but she's still like out there doing backflips on stage and stuff. Like she's so funny. And anyway, so just to have her like know my name, put it on a note and send me some of her old earrings, and then be able to fly out to Philly and work with the guy that worked on her last album. And, it was just the crazy whirlwind of everything. And I was like, this is crazy. And every time something happens, I'm always like he'll send me these text messages and be like, okay, so we're going to go to Philly and you're going to record with Bill Jolly. And, my response is always like, are you fucking kidding me? And so every time he texts me, like, that's my response is, are you kidding me? Like, is this really happening?
That's a really great relationship though. Like
yeah,
because you don't want to be like, oh, that's it. Like, no. We're just doing a birthday party. Like, are you serious? Are you serious?
No.
There ain't nothing wrong with that. I ain't trying to knock that. I'm just saying though, like, it's funny, like, as I was listening to you talk, I just had all this random like images pop in my head, and I'm cracking up to myself, acting all crazy on this show. But it's like, it's funny because when you always, it seems like you had this theme of like you get shocked and then you just like go execute. And I just had this big funny metaphor of a kid learning how to tie his shoes, and he has a aha moment. And he's like, oh, I can really tie my shoes. What's next in life, Yep. And I'm random like that, so forgive me for these corny metaphors, but that's how I like to keep the show kind of different from everybody else. I got to be my own fingerprints.
No, that is spot on. I'm shocked, then execute and move on to the next thing. So, like, you
remind me of watching Little Rascals, like Yum Yum Eat 'Em Up. You ever seen that episode?
I don't know if I have.
Oh man, I'm gonna send you the link to that on YouTube, man. Okay. You're gonna crack up because it's so random, but it's genius. It's genius. All right. Back to this amazing show. We're talking to Davy, Schmidt, and we're talking about jazz, not Little Rascals. But just in case y'all young whippersnappers don't know about that, that shows my age. I'm getting up there, man. But, like, speak on that, too. I'm not saying that you're old, but I'm just saying, like...
Oh, my damn. Just kidding.
About to cry on my show. Oh, this is funny. Oh, man. I'm sorry. Sometimes when I try to be funny, I kind of cross the line. I have to like walk backwards and then wipe the line off. Like, my bad. So we're going to skip that question. Oh man, that's funny. But on a serious note, if I can say it with a straight face,
can you get there?
If I would run out of gas, man, I might have to stop at the gas station. That's funny. That's what happens when you get on my show. You're gonna laugh. But it takes a lot though. On a serious note, like, people get on the show, sometimes it can be a very serious situation and it's walking on eggshells for the rest of the time. It's like, I hope this don't crack.
No, I don't like walking on eggshells, so I try not to make other people do that either.
Yeah, eggs were meant to break, man. That's the only way you can cook breakfast.
That's right.
I know, like, there's going to be weird people like us out there listening, like, I love y'all. And there's going to be other people like, what the heck am I listening to? We talking about eggshells and kids tying their shoes. Oh, man, that's good. That's golden. But when it comes to, like, you doing your projects and stuff, what was your first, like, official song?
Well, I don't actually have any original music. So...
Oh, I'm calling into existence. You about to work on one?
I know. I've got about 7 original songs halfway done that I've written 50 times a piece and thrown them away.
Oh, wow.
My producer, so his name's Michael Reddy. Jazz Mike online, if you want to find him.
Shout out to Jazz Mike. Let's pump the brakes, man. Let's pump the brakes and give him a little plug, man. A little commercial.
He calls me the tortured artist because I like sit there and I'm like, nope, that's not right. I can't do it. Nope, I don't like that. Nope. That, you know, I mean, right. But I feel like that's what I was like in the studio too, though. You're never happy, right? And that's why I like the live stuff, is because you can't fix it. It's done, right?
Yeah,
People have to enjoy it while it's there. But yes, so that is actually a 2019 goal, is to do originals. I got about 5 books stacked up on my table here that are about songwriting. So I'm gonna figure it out. I'm gonna have some original stuff for people hopefully soon.
Oh, that's what's up. When you do that, that'll be breaking news, and we want to get you back on the show just for that part.
Yeah, I would love to.
Have a little iHeart, Spotify, iTunes, -- blah, 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 listening part.
// yeah.
Yeah, because I can't go through the whole list. That's just a dark tunnel I don't want to go into. You know, because, you know, it's funny, like, when you're doing podcasting, it's almost being a comedian. Because if you suck, you suck. Period. There's no getting around it. But if you're good, it's because this is my secret sauce for all the podcasters out there. You let your guests talk, because if your guests don't laugh, then you're just not good. Because your guests, it has to be family when they're on the show.
Gotta be engaging. Yeah.
And speaking of family and speaking of engaging, your fans, if you don't mind me saying that, because I know you got fans on social media.
Sure.
You gonna call them?
Still kind of funny. Yeah. No.
I just like.
Yeah. Right.
So,
my 300, my town of 300 that follows me from Princeton. Yes.
So, mom and dad, how do they feel about your music now?
Oh, my mom they both love it, but my mom, she flies out for all the gigs she could fly out for. She has a really good time with it. And she's the same way as me, right? Every time I tell her, okay, mom, like, I'm going to LA, I got this photo shoot, or I'm going to Philly, I'm recording. She's like, are you kidding me? Like, what? It's like like the same thing I say, but she's, yeah. So every stepping stone has been like, what is going on? She's like, but keep your day job until you can really do it, you know?
I feel like your mom is a comedian too. What's the funniest thing your mom has ever said to you?
Oh, man. Oh, well, she didn't say anything, but I remember when I first started, she came to my first gig, and she sat like right in the front. And I can't even make the face because you can't see me, but she was making this like pained face the entire time. And I'm like, it was distracting. And afterwards, I'm like, Ma, you can't sit there and do that. And she was like, I was just hoping you didn't mess up, baby. You did so good though. Like, and I'm like, you can't do that to me. So from then on, I told her, I was like, you got to go talk to people. You can't sit there and make that face and look at me, because I kept looking at her like, damn, am I messing up? Like, do I suck that bad? She's like, no, I was just hoping you didn't. And you didn't. You were good.
The whole time you're thinking you're off key, and you're like, what's wrong with my mom?
The whole time.
Can you turn me up on my earphones? What's up, man? I can't hear the key.
Apparently I'm off. Ask Mama D.
And you magically hit every note flawlessly. That's awesome. Man, That's funny, man. That's funnier than Kevin Hart almost. Wow. That's pretty good.
No, she's good. My mom, if you ask anybody who's been to my show, they've probably met Mama D, because she runs around and she asks everybody how they know me and why they're there and what they think. And
I bet she's like
my momager.
I bet you Mama D is just as good friends with Mama Medea.
Probably. They probably would have been.
Because I can imagine Medea, like, in a movie scene, sitting with your mom, telling her stop making those faces.
Yes. Yeah, right? There you go. I can see that, too.
Man. Yeah. Man, this show is really, like, just abstract. I like it. Not in a bad way, a great way. Because...
Good.
Because, no, I would never say that on live taping, even if it's pre-recorded. But let me backtrack a little bit. When you... And that's my handicap word. We always got a handicap word in podcast world. When we want to transition to another thought, we say the same phrase like 10,000 times throughout the show. I'm just being transparent with the audience, because that's what makes the show more funnier and more personal, you know? Like, I have flaws. I'm a human being, you know what I'm saying? Like, we all grind, but we all got to go to sleep because we're not super power-driven heroes, you know? Like, we're heroes because we pull in the cape and we trip and fall. You know?
I do that all the time.
You see what I'm saying? Like, that's what makes life real. You got people who want to Photoshop everything and put filters on themselves. But that's just a dark tunnel I'm not going to go into. But, sorry, y'all. Let's get back to the only reason why you're listening to this show is this amazing guest, Davy Schmidt. It's funny when I asked you how to say your last name, I almost thought you cussed. I was like, oh.
Oh, you're not the only one. I had lots of nicknames back in high school, so it's cool.
I didn't mean to make fun of you, but I just had to put it out there. I was like, dang. Well, hey, my last name Reed. Everyone always just used to joke around with me, like, why don't you go read somewhere? It's like, no. All right, I'm gonna let you slide with that, you know, because I had it to, like, I'm sorry, I'm talking about myself. Quick commercial break, but like my first name Shemaiah was like the most impossible name to ever pronounce in the world. It's like I'm the only. It's like
it phonetically sounds like it's spelled Shemaiah.
Yeah, you would think so. Just like Schmidt, you would think you'll not be a cuss word. I'm just playing. I'm sorry. Anyway, back to Davy. I'm sure your producer's going to be like, this clown interviewing you. Well, hey, you can get on the show too and have fun. How you like them apples? I'm on iHeartRadio. Okay, I'm going to stop. Shout out to iHeartRadio and Spotify, all them good places. So, Davy.
Yes.
Now that we're laughing and having a good time, what are some of the goals that you have in this new year? Because it's almost, believe it or not, this month is about to be over really soon. And it felt like I blinked my eyes too fast and I'm already like grown. Yeah. I remember from tying my shoes to blink my eyes too fast and now it's like, whoa, what happened?
Yeah. No, I know. One of my goals is write music. I want to write some music. I don't know if it's a 2019 goal necessarily or maybe a 2-year goal, but I definitely want to put out an album. It's got to have original music on it though. So we'll start with the originals, go from there. And I want to start, I did a show in Mississippi because I got some family out there. And so that was one of the things that was kind of a building block for me. I had to get all of it together basically because the place I played at didn't have any, sound or anything like that. So I had to hire it all. I had to hire the musicians and everything from here. And I put it together. I went out there and played and it was good. So another, kind of goal, I guess, is to start doing that a little bit more and get to other cities. And I want to go back to my hometown and play out there for them because a lot of those people can't come out here and see me. So yeah, I want to start, playing other places and it's a lot of work, and then another goal of mine is I am putting together an Amy Winehouse tribute for her birthday this year, September 14th. It's going to be big. So I'm working on getting that together too.
You kind of already answered this next question, but I guess you can say something that you're going to have to answer anyway. So think about this, all right?
Okay.
In the next 24 hours, if you can do anything in the world, anything, and nothing can hold you back, like nothing, zero can hold you back, what would you want to do and why?
Oh my God, that is a difficult question. Wow. Next 24 hours, if I could do anything.
Anything.
Oh, man. I don't ever think about stuff like that. What would I do? Let's see.
It's like a blank check. Go spin it. It's like, I'm going to be broke.
Like, I don't know.
At least I don't have to worry about making a choice.
Oh, man. That's another goal of mine is to be more decisive. Wow. Gosh. I don't know. Oh, man.
Anything.
Is it something I should do or something I buy?
Anything. That means anything. Whether it's free, someone calls you, or you just earn infinite money, turn into Superwoman, like anything. Use your imagination.
Use my imagination. Oh my goodness.
Anything.
I would like to have a place with a studio in it that I could work out of my own place for.
Nice.
Is that not thinking big enough? I don't know. That seems a little realistic. So,
I mean, you can do that next
and have enough money that I could just do music. There we go.
No, that's dope. Because you're not just talking about any kind of studio. Like, describe your studio, your dream studio.
Like a really big one.
Was
like
super nice. Like a warehouse big, or?
No, like I imagine what, like, I don't know, Whitney Houston had in her house or something like that. I don't even know what her studio looked like, but I bet it was dope.
I bet you can Google it and find out. That would be kind of interesting. I bet you everybody right now is probably Googling, like, oh, wow,
right?
Whitney Houston.
Watch her, like, not even have a studio in her house.
It'd be, like, out of order, like, 10 years ago.
That's
cool, though.
Yeah.
That's cool. Dang, that's dope.
I'm going to have to come up with a better answer for that next time, though. I'm going to think about that.
No, that's cool. That's cool. Like, that's your choice, and that's all that matters, you know? Because the reason why I say that is because it's interesting how when you're broke, you know exactly what you want, you know? Because all these bills are coming. It's like, dang, I wish I could do this. I wish I could do that. All this bills. But then you get a blank check. It's like, wait, pump the brakes. I'm confused. What? This is life? Do I get 20,000 ice cream cones, or do I go Chuck E. Cheese rest of my life? Like, what? Too many options. And it's so funny because what I'm learning when I ask people that question is, in life, when you are appreciative of what you already have, then you will always have enough.
Yeah.
Whether you have a blank check or you don't have any checks.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So sorry to be all Dr. Phil on you, but, you know, this is part of the show where I get to, you know, land the plane. Like, I always say time goes by fast when you're having fun. Because imagine if we started talking, it's only been like 10 minutes. You'd be like, oh my God, this is going to be forever.
How long is this interview again?
Yeah, like, I'm getting tired. I'm getting allergies right now. Like, I'm starting to, like, turn to, like, Kirby right now on Smash Brothers. Like, I need to go. I'm getting sick. But no, that's why I like this show, because you start talking, and maybe I took 25 minutes of rambling, but I don't think I did. But what I do want you to do, I want you to shout out anybody you want to shout out, even if it's a long list, because the floor is yours.
Oh, man, it is a long list.
Ooh, yeah.
Well, obviously, you know, my parents, and my sister and my brother, they've all been super supportive. Mom, Dad, Jody, Tommy, thank you guys. All my friends out here that come out to all my gigs, I appreciate all that. Obviously, Michael, my producer, he's been so instrumental in everything that's happened over the last year. Bill Jolly for putting together, you know, my demo, and, you know, the other guys that worked on it, Gab Guma and Jade Davidson. Michael on that too. He had a lot to do with the arranging and everything, so that was cool. Yeah, I think, you know, there's just so many. Everybody's been super supportive, so literally everybody in my life gets a shout out, because everyone has been awesome. But yeah, those are the Keish and Inez. Thanks for, you know, the photo shoot. They make me look good, so got some stuff for people to look at. Yeah,
that's what's up. Nah, man, you did well. That's great practice when you start winning awards. Now you got that first experience, you know.
There we go. I know. This was my first interview, so.
What?
Yeah.
Man. See what happens? You get two shy people on the microphone. We can't shut up.
What'd you say?
You see what happens when you get two shy people on the microphone. You can't shut up.
I know.
It's like No, you ain't go. 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 Nah, bro, you ain't go. Awkward pause. You ain't go. Nah, I don't feel like hanging go. You ain't go. But yeah, all jokes aside, that never happens in my show, by the way. I'm just poking fun because you're hilarious. I'm telling you,
good. No,
seriously,
this is fun.
you can be a comedian or like an actress, a movie actress.
No, I don't know. I don't know about all that. I'll stick to what I know. But like I said, I'm not discounting nothing. But
I can see people listening to their phone, either Android, which sounds like Android, sorry, or iPhone, and they're like, sorry about y'all Android users. I'm really sorry about y'all. But I can,
right there.
I can hear them like, not hear them, I can't really hear them, but I can imagine them like fussing at their phone, like, this guy don't shut up, man, land the plane. And it's like, just be patient because life is all about patience. Why don't you look up Gandhi? You learn a little bit about that life. But since you've been thinking about that so much, I'm going to grant your wish. I'm about to land this plane. But before we do, Davy, whether you ever come back on the show because you either A, like it or, I don't know, Shemaiah, Rocky. The turbulence is going crazy right now on the airplane. But, that's just my self-doubt trying to gain confidence in that you had a great time on the show. But all the jokes aside.
I'm going to be back. I'm going to be back after I got some originals. We already talked about it. I'll be back.
I appreciate that support. See, this audience is like either A, really happy about the show or like, man, Shemaiah, you probably need to be a little bit more shy. Because it's taking forever to land this plane. But I am. Trust me, I am.
Okay.
I want you to give people your social media links because I ain't forget about that.
Okay, yes. You can find my website at davi-music.com. It's davi-music.com. That links to my Facebook pages. It's got my events on there. You can contact me through there too. And then my Instagram is DBETHY name. So DB thy name.
Mm-hmm. Oh, Schmidt.
I left that one out of the Instagram because it's too hard to figure out, Yeah.
You need a t-shirt that says, oh, Schmidt. You know what I'm saying? That'd be dope. I would wear that shirt.
Maybe I'll see about finding one of those. I'm sure they're out there.
Today's world, you can make your own, man. All you gotta go is pick one of the clothing.
I got you know what? I got Dave in the Fuzz t-shirts. I'm gonna send you one. You send me your address.
All right.
I'll send you one.
Bet. I'm gonna take a picture and tag you on Instagram.
All right. Yes, that's perfect.
Y'all get to mark my words and say, you fool, you lied, you say you're gonna do it. Nah, don't worry. I'm gonna do it, man. I know y'all be watching too, because y'all be lurking. Y'all don't like my stuff. Y'all just be lurking on my stuff, man. I see how y'all are, because I don't take selfies. So I know that's why my engagement, why I keep talking about myself. Let me stop. I'm sorry. This is Davy, not Shemaiah. You gotta catch yourself sometimes.
They already heard about me.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you have to catch yourself because you get so excited that you forget you're actually doing a show. You're just talking to a good friend, and it's like, shut up. And that one person's like, he never landed the plane. So for you, that one person has to be the negative person in the bunch, ruining the party for everybody in it early. I'm gonna land this plane officially. We're
on it. We're on it.
We've been talking to Davy Schmidt, Old Schmidt, aka Old Schmidt, and she's an amazing vocalist, jazz artist, doing her thing. And I want y'all to remember, like we always say on this show, grinding is a choice. It's not something that you just like randomly do. If you really grind that out there, whether it's your 9 to 5, your side hustle, your full-time business, what we do, saying you're an entrepreneur on the internet is overrated, to be honest. So this podcast kind of helps you get in the mindset of what a real entrepreneur looks like. It's not always the glitz and the glam. There's a lot of horrific scenes that don't make the movie. So y'all need to understand it's okay to struggle. It's okay to have your ups and downs because that makes you a human being. So with that said, keep grinding. Never stop. Every day is your opportunity to shine. And it's going to rain sometime. Because if it was hot all the time, like in Texas, yeah, we'd be begging for rain. So, you know what I'm saying? Appreciate what you got on your plate because it's your choice. No one can make it for you. If you hit rock bottom, the next thing you can do is look up. Because if you look down, you ain't going to see nothing but the bottom. So you might as well look up, right? You know? Mm-hmm. It's like, man, just look up, man. Like, it's okay. Hitting rock bottom. I know I made that one a little bit more fun than I used to do because it's usually Dr. Phil time and the music's playing. But I switched it up this time because laughing is medicine to the soul.
That's right.
So with that being said, Davy, thank you so much for being on the show. You didn't have to, but you said yes. I appreciate that.
Thank you so much for having me. It was fun, for sure.
Awesome, man. Awesome, all caps.
Thank you.
You know what I'm saying? And that's real. That's like mic to mic. You know, two shy people can't even hang up on the call, man. I can't get out.
I'm gonna be back on here by the end of the year. You just wait on it.
You like somebody gonna hang up? Like, stop tripping, man. All right. On a serious note, I've been messing with y'all too long though. Thank you, guys and ladies, not just guys, but guys and ladies who have been on this show. You have made this show awesome. People like Devi. Big shout out to Devi. I'm going to give her some more love because I know y'all probably pissed off now that I haven't landed the plane, but who cares? This plane don't have wheels no more. I think it's going to land on the clouds. So, Devi, once again, appreciate you and what you're doing in the music community and all the knowledge that you just dropped on everybody with your personal experience. Shout out to your funny mom making those painful faces in the crowd because we all need that, you know.
Yep.
We need that mom that has those painful moments where we don't even know she's like not liking us, but afterwards it's all like it's like the commercial first they're sour then they're sweet.
Yep. Right.
Yeah. Well, I'm not going to say that. I was about to say something, but it's going to be totally rude because I knew someone you know how you want to say a joke, but you know somebody out there's going to take it the wrong way.
Yes.
I'm not going to say it, man. But I'm going to say it because some people don't like cliffhangers. I won't say your mom, but it'll be like somebody else's mom looking like a big Sour Patch Kid. And then they turn sweet. I didn't say your mom, somebody else's mom. But yeah.
Okay, you switch that around.
On that note, thank you 10,000 times saying thank you, but thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, y'all. With that,
see ya.
Peace out. Y'all keep grinding because we're out.